Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. On the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive. So through the night rode Paul Revere, a cry of defiance and not of fear, a voice in the darkness, a knock at the door, and a word that shall echo forevermore. Through all our history to the last, the people will waken and listen to hear the midnight message of Paul Revere. Welcome to our cosmic journey, everyone. Starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Hello, I'm Kiris. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, January 19th through Saturday, January 25th, 2025. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. Our spectacular planetary parade continues on through January. In the early morning of January 21st, we have the waning crescent moon, so pretty. She is near the fixed star called Spica, referred to as the sweetest star of the heavens. The moon will occult pass in front of Spica. On January 22nd, we have the red planet Mars carrying through the stars of the constellation Gemini. Mars passes by the fixed star Pollux, which is not only the brightest star in the constellation Gemini. The fixed star Pollux is also symbolic of brotherhood and the bond that unites two people, even after death. Friday, January 24th, the waning crescent moon shines among the stars that make up the claws of Scorpio. In January, the bright stars of mighty Orion, the hunter, they shine in the southeastern sky. The 7 original planets, or the OGs as I call them, that were first used by the first original astrologers that you can see without aid of telescope or binoculars, they are lined up this week as such. We have the solar ingress into the fixed sign of fixed air Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. The moon is in cardinal air Libra. Mercury is in cardinal earth Capricorn. Venus is still exalted in the sign of Pisces. Mars is retrograde in its fall in the sign of cardinal water Cancer. Jupiter is retrograde in the sign of Gemini, ruled by Mercury. And Saturn is in Pisces, Pisces ruled by Jupiter. Sunday, January 19th, we have the solar ingress into the fixed air sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign connected to friendship. The word friend originates from the Old English, which means to love, to free. The Old English source of modern English is related to the Old English verb freon. The modern English word friend is actually a verb to love, to like, to honor, to set free from slavery or confinement. The Old English freon, it originally meant one who loves, and one who loves of their own free will and choice. There's nothing like a friend where you like their company, you want to spend time with them, you want to, of your own free will, want to hang out with them. Friendship at its best is free will. It's not an obligation. Unlike so many times, like in family perhaps, you're planning a wedding. There are people you have to invite or feel obligated to invite, but you really wouldn't if you didn't have to. A wedding, a shower, an occasion, whatever it may be. Family obligations, work obligations perhaps. Other relationships, in other words, where there is a feeling, a sense of an obligation. You have to do it. This is not true friendship at its best. True friendship at its best is having things in common. You're there for each other, through the good times, through the bad times. If you need a shoulder to cry on, your true friend will be there for you, and you for them. Your friend supports your endeavors, your dreams, your successes. They're happy for your happiness. They're happy that you're making your dreams come true. Friendship is a whole other level of love and freedom, but also the feeling of, it's like when you're with someone and they're a friend, and it's just so easy to be with them, to be in each other's energy. It's light, it's playful, it's fun. It's not an obligation, something that you have to do. This is true friendship at its best. And like the origins of the word friend, freedom, the freedom to be yourself. They like you the way you are. They don't want you to change. You like them exactly the way they are. You don't want them to change as well. In a great friendship, there isn't the emotional messiness, we could say, that is very often there in marriage and romantic love relationships. This is why we seek out friendship. You just like each other, you just get each other. You don't have to explain the rules and all of that. There's just nothing like being with your own kind, with a great friend. Someone that you are simpatico with. You just speak the same language. With the solar ingress into the sign of fixed air Aquarius, the sun is putting a spotlight on how much we need friendship, how much we treasure a great friend. I've had friends since I was 5-6 years old. They're worth more than any treasure on earth, and then some. Do you have a friend or friends that perhaps life being life, you get busy, time passes, then when you reconnect, it's like a day hasn't gone by. You just pick it up where you left off. That same feeling of familiarity, trust, love, your friends, your lifers. So many times in my work as an astrologer, a romantic relationship will begin between two people. And one of the main issues is, will my friends like this person? Will my new potential marriage partner like my friends? It's a huge issue that if the extended family, meaning friends, if they all like each other, if they all get along. Why? Because these relationships can last forever and then some. Have you ever had to make the choice in your dating life between a boyfriend or a girlfriend or your friends? Guess which one mostly goes most of the time? In today's society, especially in big cities like here in Los Angeles, there's an epidemic of loneliness taking place. I always encourage my clients to find a meetup group, find a community that you gather together in person, not on social media, which is fine, but that you actually see each other, spend time together, make some friends. Life is just not the same without friendship. Like the sign of Aquarius that represents friendship. Friendship enriches our life in so many ways. It's just eternal and immeasurable. We are also starting off this Sunday the 19th with the moon in Venus-ruled Libra, cardinal air, which wants to get something started, making an air trine flow to Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. This air trine flow between the moon and Jupiter, this can be a return to a friendship and reopening the door to connect, communicate again. Communicate means to commune, to connect. The moon in cardinal air Libra wants to get the conversation started. It wants to make peace. If you've been on the outs with someone, if you've been on the outs with a friend perhaps, get the conversation started as we are starting off this week with all of this beautiful element of air. The moon, which is what we need in Venus-ruled Libra, wants to initiate harmony. It wants to initiate peace and take the necessary conversations, the steps to make that peace come into reality. Monday, January 20th, the Moon's Day, we celebrate and honor and remember the legacy of the King, Martin Luther King Jr. He said, "I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." We still have the moon today in Venus-ruled Libra. Venus is exalted in Pisces. The moon and Venus, they make an aspect to each other, which is an underneath, unspoken understanding of love. The moon in Libra on this inauguration day then makes a square aspect to Mars, retrograde in the sign of Cancer in its fall. The sign of Cancer ruled by the moon is that vulnerable, sensitive, soft underbelly place in us that wants reassurance, wants to feel safe, wants comfort. This Moon-Mars square can easily be triggered and upset when we feel fear, when we are afraid. The Moon square Mars can be quite stormy, combative. Obviously, on this day, it's bringing up a lot of different emotions and feelings for different people. Do the best you can to comfort yourself, stay safe, stay around the familiar, have your friends with you, connect with friends if they are far away. The moon in Libra is air, Mars in Cancer is water, so the blending of air and water, it doesn't mix well. This is the conflict, the square between the intellect and the mind and your feelings, your emotions. The moon, Cancer. With the moon in Libra, stay in balance, stay even keel. You don't have to take the hook if someone is trying to goad you into an argument, a discussion, a debate. If anyone or any situation around you is trying to stir the pot with you, follow your moon or feed your moon, as I always say, the moon in Libra, which is go to the things that give you pleasure and happiness. Home, peace, music, beauty. Venus exalted in Pisces, which is comedy, laughter, of course. Pisces is the sign of prayer, meditation, spirituality. Whatever keeps you centered and in peace and in your spiritual practice. This is for Monday, January 20th. Tuesday, January 21st, we have the fourth quarter moon at 2 degrees Scorpio. Fourth quarter to new moon is that cycle of the moon when we are in preparation of what we want to let go of and release. The sign of Scorpio is cutting things away, ruled by Mars, as we approach the new moon that is coming up. On this Tuesday, the 21st, we have the Sun in Aquarius making a conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius. The sign of Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, is social responsibility. Saturn being the planet of responsibility. Aquarius is not only the sign of friendship and social responsibility. Aquarius is the sign that is opposite to the sign of Leo. The Sun in Aquarius is said to be in its detriment. The sign of Leo is in its castle, its domicile, the time of the year when the sun is shining at its strongest, its brightest, a lot of energy, a lot of sunlight. The Sun in Leo is the rebellious teenager that is establishing its ego, its originality. Leo is about being seen. Leo is the stage of development in astrology that very much needs the reassurance, the applause. I'm important, aren't I? I'm somebody, aren't I? You know how lovable Leos, they're always bragging about themselves and letting us know how they are the best and so forth. The sign of Leo, the rebellious teenager, needs that. Leo needs the applause and the reassurance and the accolades. They're not secure in that. They're getting and developing the security in who and what they are as a one original. Aquarius is the opposite. The Sun in Aquarius, which is said to be in its detriment, the opposite sign, when it's the time of year where there isn't a lot of sunlight. It's cold. We're holding on to things and saving things because it's wintertime. The Sun in Aquarius, being connected to the winter coldest time of the year, knows that there will be great times, there will be the summer times of life, but there will also be the tough times, the winter time of life. Aquarius, being the opposite of Leo, does not need the accolades, the reassurance, the applause, like Leo does. The Sun in Aquarius making this conjunction to Pluto now in Aquarius, which happens about 250 years-ish. Last time Pluto was in Aquarius was during the American Revolutionary War, when Paul Revere made his very famous midnight ride, telling the community, the friends, the neighbors, we as a community, we as friends, are about to deal with something that needs to take place. It needs to happen. The social responsibility of the sign of Aquarius is what the beginning of this Sun conjunct Pluto is all about. This feeling of it's not just me needing the reassurance, the applause. The sign of Aquarius and the Sun conjunct Pluto in Aquarius is the submergence of the full force of the Sun, meaning the ego. It's now about us in this winter time where we have to stick together. We have to huddle close as friends, neighbors, communities. This cosmic cycle and superpower that we're talking about today is much bigger, as I'm sure you know, than join a meetup, make some friends. This is about how we need each other as a community, as a support, as friends, more than ever. The era of social responsibility, and it's not just about I, me, and mine, that time has come now. As the cosmos is a cosmic clock that puts a spotlight on the certain stages of development and the certain times to do specific things, is this Sun conjunct Pluto, which is the sense of responsibility, meaning how we are going to respond, how are we going to make the choice to deal with, be accountable for what's happening to us and our friends and our neighbors. Aquarius. And like a great friend, not because we feel forced to do it or have to do it, but because we want to do it, because the people and the society, the friends around us, are truly our neighbors and friends. I myself was born in Boston and raised in Revere, a city north of Boston that was named after Paul Revere. And I can assure you that midnight ride, just the ride itself, not just the dangers of the message he was delivering, could have gotten him killed. But when we have a sense of community and responsibility, Sun conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, this is how we help, support, and do for each other. In case you've never heard of Paul Revere and his midnight ride, he was an essential, crucial component to the beginning of the Revolutionary War, which meant freedom for the people, freedom for your friends and yourself. Wednesday, January 22nd, we still have the moon in its fall in fixed water Scorpio, making a water trine flow to Saturn in Pisces. The moon in Scorpio is intense. It's all of the emotional imprints from the past. The moon trine Saturn in Pisces can bring stability from Saturn in Pisces. As far as channeling your very intense emotions on this day into your dream, your future, what it is that you would like to build as your vision. Thursday, January 23rd, we still have the moon in Scorpio during the day, ruled by Mars, with the moon in Scorpio and Mars making aspects, several aspects. Moon in Scorpio makes a water trine flow to Venus in Pisces, a sextile to Mercury in Capricorn, a trine flow to Mars retrograde in Cancer, in opposition to Uranus in Taurus, and a water trine flow to Neptune in Pisces. Now Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, is making a sextile aspect to Uranus in Taurus and in opposition with Mercury in Capricorn. Later on in the evening, depending on your time zone, the moon moves into mutable fire Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. The moon entering Sagittarius needs to talk about it all. The moon in Sagittarius wants to philosophize, wants to wants to have very large, over-the-top, lively, fiery, animated conversations about all that's been happening this week. And where are we going? How are we moving into the future? Sagittarius reaches for the stars. It dreams big. Nothing is impossible. So this moon entering the sign of Sagittarius wants and needs family and friends, people to discuss. Friday, Venus's day, January 24th, we still have the moon in Sagittarius making a sextile aspect to Pluto in Aquarius, a sextile to the sun in Aquarius, and the moon in Sagittarius makes an opposition to Jupiter, its ruler, and its detriment retrograde. What does all this mean? It means that the conversation starts on a Friday and, like Sagittarius, just keeps going on and on and on. It's a never-ending conversation in a very positive blending of fire and air kind of way about the big picture, about friendship, about the future, about your hopes, dreams, and wishes, all of it, and then some. It can also bring in the component of how can the community, your local community, your friends and neighbors, how can you all stick together, watch out for each other, help each other, community, friendship, support. Saturday, January 25th, we still have the moon in Sagittarius. The moon in Sagittarius makes a fire trine flow to Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries. The moon in Sagittarius and any of the fire moons, they're wonderful for having a party and gathering of people that is so much fun and very lively. Maybe you'll throw a block party or a backyard party where everyone is invited, gets together, and enjoys, has fun, games, laughter, Sagittarius, and of course, always the philosophical conversation about what is this all about and where are we going. Before I close out this podcast for this week, I just want to mention Facebook Marketplace. If you've been affected by fires, natural disasters, if you just need some help, Facebook Marketplace is a fabulous place where people, they just want to get rid of things a lot of times for free because they've bought new things like furniture, refrigerators, whatever it may be. But Facebook Marketplace is a wonderful community of friendship. If you need things for your home and other things, you can either find it very inexpensively and or a lot of the times for free. I hope this helps you out. Thank you, everyone. I will see you all in the stars. Have a fabulous week. Be safe and be well.